Hello, my children. I don't know why I said that. I'm tired. Anyway, hello. We're back after fucking, what, 4 months?
2 days.
Has it been 4 months? 2 days. 2 days. Ah, great to see you guys after 2 days.
It's been a long 2 days.
Somehow... Somehow we transported from, like, what, January 18th to May 2nd?
Was it actually January 18th?
I think it was sometime around there. I'm actually gonna check now because I'm curious. I'm on the Suboptimal podcast right now. Hold on. It was... Oh my god, it was 6 months ago!
Damn.
Holy shit. Oh my... What the fuck were we doing? What were we doing, man?
Something hyperbolic time chamber?
Yeah.
Mirror of life trapping?
We're gonna go. Yeah. Mirror of life. We're gonna go with we were training our comedic genius in a hyperbolic time chamber. We're gonna do that. It still won't be good, so don't expect anything more. Anyway, my name is Zachariah David Diggs Schofield, who is now a TikTok star. Obviously, you can look me up. I'm not good at all, just like I am on this podcast. I suck, and I reuse jokes, and people like that, and it makes me angry. Anyway, Matthew, say hello.
It's the new signature mad meatball laugh.
Oh yeah, that's what we've been doing recently. Is Matthew and I have gotten way too into Dark Souls 3. Actually, well, not so much anymore, but recently that was what we were doing. And we were doing currently a Mad Hollow run, which is we made Mad Meatball and Mad Spaghetti. And we're just two ridiculous looking characters with nothing on but a loincloth and a broken sword. So it's been a good time. It's been a good time so far. Matt, what have you been up to recently? I know we've necessarily talked, but tell our wonderful viewers that don't care that much.
If we're talking about recently, then do you mean like 6 months recently, or just like 2 days recently, like actual 2 days recently?
I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Okay, well,
what you want.
I don't even remember yesterday, so I'm just gonna go with 2 days.
I feel that.
So, actually, well, there's not much to talk about either. I've just been stuck with school. Like actually no. You know what's a funny story? Actually, yesterday I was in a class. So just for context, there's this semester long project. It's a behavior modification project rather. And what you're supposed to do is like set up an intervention plan as any other like therapy people, I guess. I don't know what to call it.
Therapy people.
Yeah, therapy people. Yeah, as they would like to intervene in the behavior, Except this is supposed to be self-directed. So you're supposed to pick a target behavior that you don't like, and then modify it after recording your baseline week, how you usually act, and then intervening with the next week. So we did like this whole PowerPoint presentation we were supposed to present on like 5 separate days. That's been like last week, this week, and next week. Yesterday I was presenting, but I didn't prepare my presentation at all. Like I had the PowerPoint done because that's like the majority of the project, but I didn't prepare at all, like except for like the last half an hour before class. Because like it's a presentation. Like I don't have any sort of anxiety. Like I usually don't have anything to worry about, and never in my life did I think this would be a problem. So I got up there. I was like, okay, this is my behavior change project. Yada yada yada. There's like 10 to 12 slides in the average project, and mine was about that. But the presentation itself, for the sake of time in the class, is supposed to last 10 minutes for each student. Do you want to know how long it took?
I'm gonna say 20.
20 minutes.
Oh my god!
And I was the second to last person to go, and we also had evaluations for professors that day. So we already were running short on time, and someone else also took 15 minutes for their presentation at the start. So my 20-minute presentation ended up making the last person to go get shoved over to Tuesday next class.
Oh no.
And my professor for that class has been sending like 3 or 4 emails just like restating in different ways how like she's low key upset that we let it go on for that long, and I still got a 90 on the project. Like I still got 96. I still got the speaking section, the presentation section was 40 points. Like you get up to 40 points on it, and I still got like 36 points. Like she was. I literally looked to the side as I was talking and talking and talking. I thought I was doing perfectly fine. I was on time, and I noticed she wasn't writing anything for like feedback on how I was speaking or presenting, and she was just kind of like her head was like very quickly. She just like rubbed her forehead or just like her head was in her hand or something. I was like, oh, she just must be tired or something. No, she was literally just like very uncomfortable trying to figure out how she could stop me.
I love that. I think that's fantastic. Especially because I would never think that you're the type of person that someone would have to stop during a presentation.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just it's like you normally you get right down to business.
And the funny thing is, I took the effective speaking class like last semester, I think it was. Yeah, last semester.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a problem at all with that. Like it was like a bit higher than average compared to other students, sure, but like I never like super exceeded the time limit.
Yeah. Well, I love that. That's fantastic. Well, on another note, I have been taking effective speaking, and the reason I wanted to get back into this is because I did a whole speech on the gaming industry. It was a speech like based around a call to change.
Uh-huh.
And I talked about how I love the gaming industry, but it fucking sucks. And like, that was essentially it. I had to keep myself from getting very worked up. But essentially, it's funny because after I did that speech, which I did the first round of speeches, right?
Uh-huh.
So there is no point for me to go to that class. But I don't want to be mean and like not go and like not provide like feedback and like other things for other people, right? So the entirety of my class, like for the last like week or so, has been me sitting in class, having my laptop screen ever so slightly aimed downward, so that she couldn't see that I was visibly playing RuneScape.
a memer, a committed memer through and through.
I was very, very committed. So, anyway, okay, so we've taken almost 8 minutes on this now.
Can we go for another 12 to make it 20?
Okay, Matthew, I can't. Oh my god. Okay, no, we gotta calm me down because I'm on Adderall today and I've had a coffee. So you can't.
Shit.
You can't get me too worked up here, or else I might die. Like.
Wait, actually?
No.
Damn, because I was thinking of ways to try and just like keep going.
Imagine that as a story, like dead ass. Like be like, oh yeah, this one time I made my friend laugh so hard, he
fucking died.
And like, what? How? He's like, he was on Adderall and coffee.
His heart rate, man, he just couldn't take it. It just burst.
Oh my god.
We were hitting like 2,000 beats per minute. Like that shit was. The line wasn't even fluctuating anymore. It was just the screen was completely green. The heart rate monitor.
No, it's just a fucking. The entire heart rate looks like a fucking trapezoid. Because you know.
Oh yeah, I know. I know what you're talking about.
Instead, it's just at the top for like 20 minutes. Okay. Okay, excuse me. Video games, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Video games, that's the thing we have to talk about. It's alright, we get off track every single week, so we'll... Yeah, every single week, not including the last 6 months. Anyway, is there something you'd like to specifically talk about or start off with? Do we want to start with the more surface level things, or do we want to get right into the thick of the thing?
Good question. We're a little rusty, aren't we?
We are a little rusty, but
you go for it. You go for whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. Borderlands 3. I'm kind of excited. Now here's the problem.
I think it's the problem everyone's been having. Just a guess.
Possibly. Here's the problem. We're still getting bullshit from 2K Games. And this came to my attention, to be perfectly honest, it came to my attention while watching Jim Sterling's most recent video. Because it's a pretty big thing for me, specifically. So, what has been frustrating me is that a lot of people, and now this isn't any way of saying that people are necessarily not attentive or so on, but people sometimes don't have a longevity of memory. And I say that in reference to, like, games as a whole, right? You know, so we keep seeing repeats of the crap we don't like, but we say, oh, at least it's not like this. You know what I'm saying?
Basically, just don't settle for anything less than, quality.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is that we are settling.
Yeah.
We are absolutely settling. So as far as Borderlands 3, and I'm not kidding you, I forget who let me look it up real quick, because I want to be 100% sure who the CEO of 2K Games is. I might be completely wrong. Hold on.
Who's the slimy face of that company? What's his name again? The guy who lied about the Aliens Marine Corp, whatever the game was.
Yes, it is the same guy.
Yeah,
it's the same
No, I looked into this briefly before.
It's Randy Pitchford.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah,
Randy Pitchford.
Randy.
The man's an idiot.
Is it?
Actually, excuse me. I shouldn't. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm letting my emotions take over too much. No, I am. It's. Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, and I've explained this to you, Matt. Like, over the last 6 months, I have actually gotten really strong-headed about most of the issues in the gaming industry. So, so they were having a live stream presenting the most recent features and additions to Borderlands 3. I believe it was also a gameplay review, and he explicitly said, and I'm not joking, he explicitly said, and I'll let me see if I can find the quote exactly word for word, right? Just so I'm not completely off.
Can I take a wild guess on what platform this quote is from? Twitter?
No. This quote it's from a live stream.
Okay, because I was just gonna say as a side comment, why is it always Twitter? Like I remember reading something about how, like, he had some kind of, like, Twitter rant, and, like, it's like, for some reason every single, like, face of slime in any given industry is always having.
I love that.
Every single, like, mind you, I'm not gonna as a particularly infamous individual on the internet has said, I know I'm not supposed to give my opinion, but that's kind of what he's commonly agreed to be known as of right now for most people.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is it that every single person that's like that in any given industry always has some kind of, like, tweet storm? Is that the word for it? Yeah, tweet storm.
Yeah, you can say tweet storm. I feel like that's relatively accurate.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, yeah.
And so, yes, there is a Twitter component, so you are correct in that. But the initial story comes from the live stream.
Just go back to MySpace.
He said we're gonna do all kinds of fun customization options and skins, but we're not doing any of that paid junk. There aren't going to be any microtransactions. There aren't going to be any, like, anything like that. And so they explicitly stated no microtransactions. You know what's in the game? Microtransactions.
Do I even have to, like, guess?
No, you don't. You really don't. And so they released a statement talking about how there was kind of a disconnect. And so I forget who I think it was the leader of the project, Chris Brock, I think. He said, quote, "When we say no microtransactions, what we're really trying to say is that we're not trying to nickel and dime people. We'll probably make content after the launch that will sell, but we also don't intend to take what Borderlands was and then chop it up into chunks and sell it. Sorry, not good enough."
Like, you know what's a problem in the first place? That he even has to, like, reassure people about this. Like, hey, don't worry, we're not being assholes about this. Don't keep everything under control, because it's almost like he knows there's going to be backlash.
Yes, of course there is.
Jesus Christ!
I urge everyone listening to this. I love Borderlands as much as the next person. I really do. Don't take the bullshit. So Borderlands 2 had it, right? Borderlands 2 technically had DLC, and it had cosmetic DLC as well as gameplay DLC. So like like story edition, stuff like that. Do not let them get away with the bull crap. Because the common theme has been, and I'd like to point this out because I think it's really important. The common theme has been, and you can disagree with me on this, Matt, if you feel any differently, but the common theme has been company goes way too far. Companies made fun of a million times over, rightfully so. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, companies later go, "Oh, look at this, we're doing this, but it's not as bad as this." Like, go screw yourselves. No. Microtransactions in and of itself are not okay. They're not okay. And I think that's just, I think that's something we still need to hold on to, and we still need to keep as a standard. It's like, because DLC is one thing, right? So like story editions, that's arguably, very, very, very arguably one thing.
Remember when that was a shitstorm?
Yes.
With Mass Effect?
Yes, I do. And that's arguably the least of all the sins, right? If they make content afterward. Now, cosmetic is even more bullshit. And I'm saying this right now. They take a little bit of time out of their development process to make some new skin and then sell it to you for an outrageous price. Uh-huh. Like, honestly, it's worse than storyline DLC. Personally, that's what I think. I'm like, you had to take maybe, 6 hours out of your development process, have 20 people make this, and then you're selling it to me for $5.66. Like,
I don't think this is anything particularly new. But
no, it's not.
Just one thing to note. Oh Jesus! Okay, I shouldn't have gone there. So you're familiar with the Dead or Alive franchise, yes?
Yeah.
Apparently the second to last latest game cost like a good. I'm pretty sure it was like a good $200 to $600. I don't remember the exact number. I'm looking around 600, a little over $600, maybe 700. Yeah, some insane number like that in order to buy all the DLC. Now it's all cosmetics, obviously, but like, still, that's kind of shocking.
See, and that's. Excuse me, sorry.
But then you go to Dead or Alive 6. I'm pretty sure that the cost for all the DLC is like $1,200. And it's like, okay, if you're spending that much time and labor to make DLC to that extreme, where all of it's going to be worth $1,200, well, a little less because like minus the base game cost. That says something. That really does.
Absolutely.
I don't know what, but it says something.
And the fact of the matter is, people say it's just cosmetic, and I'm like, yeah, the reason we play video games is to escape from reality with a cool-looking world. So therefore, we're gonna want cosmetics.
It's not even that though. Like, it's just that you could like, I don't know. Okay, have your cosmetics, right? Have some of your cosmetics.
Okay.
But if you're gonna be making DLC, at least make something that like actually expands the game. You know?
Absolutely. It's like.
But then it gets convoluted with the whole thing about like, oh, certain characters in this fighting game should not be locked behind a paywall and stuff like that. You know, like the scummy crap that sometimes I wait. Did Mortal Kombat do this where they like locked one of the long-standing fighters in their game behind a paywall?
I don't know if that was Mortal Kombat. They've done similar things.
Oh no, that was in Dead or Alive
Soul
actually.
Calibur 6 did that.
Soul Calibur 6 did that as well too.
Yeah, they took Tifa and made her I think either pre-order DLC or separate DLC.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous because they have her moveset already. It does not you. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm
like alongside basic principle.
Exactly.
It's just
do not charge for things that do not waste your resources. Because Tifa herself, I think it's Tifa. It's either Tifa or Tina.
Tifa. Is it the Final Fantasy?
No. It's Soul Calibur 6.
No, I know, but like, is the character from Final Fantasy or is it like a different franchise?
No, it's from Soul Calibur.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's probably Tina then, or it could be Tina. I don't know.
Either way, we know who we're talking about. Circular Blade, pigtails, whatever. You already have the code for her moveset. There is almost nothing you need to do other than asset flip.
Oh,
and
this
update
one.
Graphical
That's
quality.
Right. Well, I mean that. Okay, actually, no. I'm sorry. I'm not going to contest that because technically, while all those updates, like asset flip and update graphical quality, technically that does take labor. You're putting that labor into the entire game anyway, which is where the base game cost comes in. So, like, yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And so, and now this feeds into another topic that I'd like to talk about, which is Mortal Kombat 11.
Ay.
Yes, I'm getting the annoying stuff out of the way first. I'm trying to, all right?
I know.
I promise. So Mortal Kombat 11, I played Mortal Kombat X. It was cool. It was fun. It was a lot of gore. Got to see a lot of people ripped to shreds for no reason, but to each their own. 11, man. So, fun fact: did you know that one of the characters who's free to unlock through a story mode, you're given a shortcut to purchase it instead?
What?
Yeah. Frost. Her name is Frost.
Wait.
So now you can unlock her. Yep. Exactly. So you can unlock her by purchasing her for I think $5.99, or you can unlock it through a story mode. Now, what I think the problem with, and this is very important, this is what I wanted to discuss. It's setting a precedent where it's saying, "Oh, well, it was your choice," and that's the problem. Is that if you give if you give a predatory shortcut, it's still the principle of the matter that you are charging for nothing.
Let's just put this all in the mobile market. You know what? Let's just put it in the dumpster.
It's just honestly, and on top of that, if people do not know, NetherRealm does overwork their workers. They during the production of Mortal Kombat 11, they've had some to 80 to 100 hour work weeks, and they use the no one's putting a gun to your head that idea, but it's also, if you don't do the extra work, we're probably going to fire you, and you're not going to be able to support for your wife and kids. So like I don't take that reasoning as valid in like any way, shape, or form. And gamers rise up. That's the moral of the story.
Bottom text.
That is the moral of the story, is gamers rise up. So anyway, point is, I just urge people not to take this crap and keep it going, because the more we give companies leeway, the more they take advantage of us. Because we're in a very vulnerable position versus them, who are not at all. So it's a whole big thing. Anyway, that's what I wanted to discuss. and ask people to not take the crap. So, anyway, is there anything you'd like to bring up, Matthew?
I mean, so...
Oh, actually, side note real quick. Sorry, side note real quick. One thing I wanted to specifically point out, if you look on Games Radar, there's actually an article about the Borderlands 3 microtransactions.
Uh-huh.
And it's exactly what I'm pointing out as an example. It says Borderlands 3 microtransactions are coming, quote, but they won't be pay to win. That's not okay. We're rationalizing the microtransactions.
Yeah, once again,
Seriously.
Once again, it's like, don't worry, put down your pitchforks, nothing bad happening here.
Exactly, and it's crap. Because they shouldn't be in there in the fucking first place. And they're also trying to, and if you look at company like press releases and things like that, they're trying to change microtransactions. They're trying to, because they know it's a dirty word, so they've been using the phrase recurrent user spending. And I'm like, oh my god. And so they've been using that over and over and over again because they don't want the dirty word to be in their context. And rationalizing that no microtransactions means nothing pay to win, we can't change that definition because it just lets them off the hook even more. Because saying, no microtransactions. No, we're good, but we're not good. We're not good. Give me a finished product.
You know what's another facet of the problem at large?
Yeah.
One thing I noticed is, like, for the longest time, a lot of games have been boasting about how much playtime their game gives. Like, 40 to 60 hours of AAA gameplay, open world. Who cares? Like, sometimes I just want to play a game for like 20 hours and be done with it.
No, you're
absolutely I mean, the cost has to be reflective of it, but, like, come on, like, who cares? It's
yeah, that's why, like, that's why when Fallout came out, Fallout 76, right? They kept boasting the 3 times bigger than Skyrim. I'm like, I don't care.
125 hours of gameplay to the second, to the millisecond. I have the bigger dick than Bethesda.
You're right, and it's frustrating because of the fact that it's something that very obviously is just used as a way to sell a game that's not worth its money, and it's tiring. It's very tiring. But anyway, you're right, and I agree with that 5,000%.
Would you play a game from Tom Howard, the quote unquote chess club king? Or would you play a game that lasts you for 2,500 hours and 32 seconds? We added 32 seconds because of the credits. We didn't want to rip you off there. And if you download the DLC, you'll get an extra 1,000 hours plus another 32 minutes for extra content. We don't know what that extra content is yet, but we'll get back to you on that. We need some kind of filler.
That's another big problem too.
We're almost there. We almost met the quota.
Let's not get into that though. That's going to be a whole nother discussion. Yeah, let's try and keep it to pertinent topics because we're already halfway in and we've been blabbering the fuck on. So
you know, actually, but just one general point, not necessarily just exclusive to this thing, but remember the thing that appeared in the shitposting channel for our D&D Discord about the it was like the shut the fuck up turf meme with the British politician like making a big like the real sinister thing about this is that the picture depicts a real hand pointing a real gun.
No, I don't
okay, well, go into the shitpost, scroll up a little bit, and you'll find something about it's like this really long like not what is it, Tumblr. It's like a Tumblr thread.
Uh-huh.
And it's some like anime lolly. I think it's like some kind of. I think it's I believe based on the light contextual reading I've done, it's like a some kind of transgender anime character. right?
Yeah.
And and the British politician was trying to make a political movement against the term TERF, which I believe is trans exclusionary radical feminist. It's basically feminists that don't want to include transgender people in their pursuit of equality.
Ooh, that's
yeah.
Hey.
And
all right.
And I don't know. It's really loaded. But point is, like, it became
loaded. Yeah.
Yeah, it became a little bit of a meme, and there was some like comment thread. I think it was on like Know Your Meme or something, where basically at some point the world just transformed from real life to some kind of weird sitcom where everything is just clowns, just a bunch of clowns. Every single major thing that happens, or even if you could call it major, anything that like sends ripples throughout the community and gets people talking is just like made up by a bunch of clowns. And so some guy was asking, aren't sitcoms like supposed to not actually be that funny? And it's like, well, I mean, look at what we're looking at right now. We're laughing, but it's not actually that funny.
I actually can't find it. I'm not seeing it, but that's a time. That's so much. And it seems like the shit we're seeing shouldn't even be fine. Shouldn't even be okay, but
it's just a sitcom now.
It's there, man, and it's gonna ruin our experience.
Nothing's real anymore.
No. Art's still alive, nothing's still real.
Especially not morality.
Delicious coffee. No, morality doesn't exist. Oh my god. We're so cynical now, Matthew.
Oh no.
Let's just try and turn it comedic. How about that? Alright? Like if we've lost all hope in humanity, then
but there's a problem with that, because if we go comedic, it means it's going to be something cynical, because that's the popular form of comedy nowadays. So what we should do is we should just be entirely formal and not laugh at anything. Just like make jokes, but they're entirely serious.
Okay.
We must restore the status quo.
Okay. Hold on. I got this. I can't. No. I can do this. Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Because 7 8 9.
Because 7 8 9. Well, I see. The only jokes I know are really bad ones. On top of that, the only jokes I know are really morally questionable ones as well.
God damn it!
That's no. Like
it's a little. See, but it's representational of the cynical nature of
like
popular, like.
I actually don't have any jokes that are like wholesome.
One thing that I learned today from an outside source was that the most popular joke, according to Google, was that it was the one where actually, you know what, I have it right here. I guess I can just read it off if you don't particularly mind. Just give me a second.
Go for it. As long as it's not like
no, nothing. It's actually good natured. It's actually good natured.
Okay.
It's Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson were going camping. Do you know this one yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson were going camping. They pitched their tent under the stars and went to sleep. Sometime in the middle of the night, Holmes woke Watson up and said, "Watson, look up at the sky. Tell me what you see." Watson replied, "I see millions and millions of stars." Holmes said, "And what do you deduce from that?" Watson replied, "Well, if there are millions of stars, and if even a few of those have planets, it's quite likely that there are some planets like Earth out there. And if there are a few planets like Earth out there, there might also be life." And Holmes said, "Watson, you idiot, it means someone stole our tent." Like, that's clean. That, like, apparently Google's report of the funniest joke in the world is clean.
That's awesome.
That's okay. Redeeming.
I like that. Hey, actually, here's a good one. This is from r/jokes.
Oh jeez. Right? Okay, we're just. Are we gonna steal? Are we gonna steal content off of Reddit like everyone else does these days? No, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I know.
I mean, to be fair, it's not Reddit's content. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, let's be honest. It's probably content stolen from somewhere fucking else on the internet. And yeah, so okay, so how about this one? I keep asking what LGBT stands for, but I'm not getting any straight answers. Oh, come on, that one's awesome. Because that's wholesome. That's not mean or anything. That's like just...
It doesn't have any loaded shit in it, yeah.
Exactly. Like, I like that, because it's not bad, it's not... Actually, how about this one? I
Play on words and misdirection is probably like the cleanest and most high-quality form of jokes that you can actually make.
Oh, 100%. Actually, speaking of which, too, there's this one, and I saw this the other day, and I actually really liked it. It says, I went on a date with a blonde woman last night. Do you have any kids? She asked. Yes, I replied. I have one child that's just under 2. She said, I might be blonde, but I know how many 1 is. Come on. I was like pissing my pants laughing at like 3 a.m. in the morning. I was just sitting there going like, this is not something I should be laughing at, but I am. Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay. Anyway, okay. Video games are a thing, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Hey, I'm okay with the detours. We're having fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what's
if you want, I can kind of segue but not segue.
That's up
a thought.
to you.
If you have something, then go for it.
I think I mentioned most of what I wanted to talk about as far as... also, I think it's really important to... it's something I just wanted to mention. I think it's really important to take games and give them credit for innovation, right? And I think it's really, really important. Whereas people have been flouting... It's kind of another thing with Borderlands 3. They've been flouting how Borderlands 3 is giving you, like, a great single-player experience, right? Which is pushing a narrative that excludes microtransactions, right? In this case, they added essentially, like... So in Borderlands 2, you would obtain one... And I think you played Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I did.
You would obtain one ability, and then the rest of the tree would be augmentations on that ability or passive abilities.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't finish the game, as far as I remember.
We should play it. It's fun.
Yes, we did. Just not to the end.
For Borderlands 3, instead, they're offering 3 different trees with 3 different abilities. Now, this is basic, like really, really basic RPG creation.
Mm-hmm.
But yet they're saying that Borderlands 3's new features create a rewarding loot shooter for solo players. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, but it's not that new. Like,
honestly,
something that...
But here's the thing: it doesn't necessarily have to be new.
No, it doesn't.
Like, it definitely shouldn't be some like cheap race game. But like,
mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are trying to stretch the boundaries of like how original they can be, but they end up, ironically, like not being original at all.
Yeah, and the only issue I take with this in particular is that the narrative around this game, although we should be figuring out what's new about it and what's going to be fun about it, it should be directed, and because like crowding around solo experiences kind of offsets the idea that microtransactions are going to be a problem. And whether or not they're a problem is kind of not the idea, it's just the fact that they're there.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest problem. So that's why I don't like that people are pouting this around, is because that's not important. It's kind of like, for example, it's like with EA, you know? And this, you know, it's the whole haha EA, haha, whatever. It's with their press release about, or actually, it wasn't even a press release. It was a goddamn Twitter post, because that's where
God damn it.
every bit of news comes these days. It was a Twitter post about how they're like Jedi, the what is it, the Last Order, the Fallen Order?
Oh right? yeah, the new Star Wars game.
Yeah, they said Jedi, the Fallen Order. No, it will not have microtransactions, and no, it will not be a live service. And I'm like, congrats, you did what video game companies should be fucking doing. You know, like it's one of those things where give them credit where credit is due when it's like in an important context, if that makes sense.
It's
so, for example,
all relative.
Yeah, with EA, with that, it's like, cool, you're doing something you should have done forever ago. I'm not going to give you credit for that. It's just a fact. I'm not doing it. Not going to do it. Because they essentially made the problem in the first place. So, and I think it's important to just mention that this is something that's being pervaded over and over again. Because, like I said, gamers unfortunately have a very short-sighted view on things. And especially when it comes to nostalgia, we can really forget a lot of our principles. You know? Like, for example, I talked to you the other day about how I bought Dynasty Warriors 9.
Yep.
And how, although that was a bad decision, I did make sure none of the money went back to Tecmo Koei, because screw those guys.
Wait, how did you do that, though?
I bought it through a third party.
I see.
Like third party on Amazon. It was, I believe it was a used goods buyer.
Oh,
okay. They would purchase used goods from people online, and then they would resell them.
I mean,
but
but technically speaking, wouldn't they still be getting money out of the distributor because they'd have to pay to actually get the game to supply it and then give it to you in the first place?
No, because they were buying it from people.
Yeah, but then those people have to have bought it somewhere. So okay, yeah, you're not getting a new copy, and you're not giving them more money, but they still got money off of that copy, I suppose. Or maybe I'm just splitting hairs. I don't know.
No. I totally get what you're saying, and I'm not claiming to be.
They just just didn't get money off of you. I get what you're saying.
They didn't get my money specifically, and technically, you can make the argument that the copy was already bought, and you could also make the argument that you're still encouraging sales of it, and so you can castrate me all you want. That's the point. You can get on my shit, but that's what I'm saying is nostalgia is a powerful thing, enough to the point where I almost bought the game fully new again. Because even though the game itself is, although with some questionable mechanical choices, actually a lot of questionable mechanic choices, I admired the fact that the game had changed its formula. However, like you were mentioning before with the $1,200 DLC, would you like to know how much the DLC for Dynasty Warriors 9 is?
Oh, no.
If you, no, it's not that much, unfortunately. I wish it was that much because that would be funny. But to get all the season passes, because they're doing yearly season passes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. To get all the season passes would be $120 at least. So 2 times the price of the game itself it took you to buy it in the first place.
I was actually going to say, like, after it becomes like ludicrously more expensive than the base game itself, does the price tag even matter? like in the grand scheme of things, whether it's $120 or $1,200, like at that point, what's the difference?
Yeah, right.
Might as well just like spend all of your life savings now and for the future to come on the game.
Honey, we have to pay the rent. Can't do it. Why? Spent $1,200 on Dead or Alive 6. I don't know. I don't know what they think they're doing, and it's nuts. But anyway, it costs $120 with the season passes. However, if let's say for some reason the season passes become unavailable, because Lord knows it's probably going to happen at some point, buying all the separate DLC is $286. Yeah, man. Yeah, this is real. This shit is real. Like, oh my God.
I refuse to believe that it's real.
I know.
That's all I can do.
It seems like we're in a dream. It genuinely seems like we're in a dream, and it's insane. It's absolutely crazy. But anyway, I think that's all I have to say for now. There's a few other topics there's two other topics I'd like to kind of mention, but other than that, I mean, if there's something you'd like to discuss, because I've taken up most of our time.
So okay, well, so here's the thing, right? Remember, so we went to PAX East, right?
Yes, we did.
A month ago now, was it? Yeah.
Yep.
And remember how we went over to that that stand at the convention stand where I think it was a bunch of people like just putting on display their services for like teaching people how to design games, right?
Yes, yes.
And at the time we were like, oh yeah, this is okay. Like it was nothing groundbreaking, I guess, but it was cool, kind of.
Speaking of which, I actually won that free class that I signed up for.
You did?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's an invitation to like pay for the class or something. I don't know. It just I was like, I'm not even going to take this anyway. So anyway, continue. Sorry.
But I was taking a shit the other day, as all great thinkers do.
Of course.
And I was just kind of, I don't know why, but it just popped up in my head, that whole thing about the class, the free class for, or not really free anymore, but like the class for teaching game design. And I was just thinking, this isn't actually like a new idea, but I was just thinking, what popular game designer or game studio with a bunch of like really praised game designers and the people involved in the creation of that game, those popular games and studios, which one of them actually took specialized classes for game design exclusively?
Mm-hmm.
And so I got curious, and I looked up. Now, this isn't. I don't claim this to be like a representation of a really a very empirical or legitimate study into the legitimacy of getting a game design degree or whatever. Like this is just like out of my own personal curiosity.
Of course.
But if you look at people like this was just a general Google search, and I kind of went off of what it recommended after the first search. So Miyazaki, Sakurai for Super Smash Bros, Miyamoto, Kojima, and Aonuma, with all like a bunch of popular, like they're all Eastern developers, right? But they're nevertheless they're all popular game designers, and they've all ever since for most of them ever since the beginning of the popularization and the rise, the golden age of creating games. None of them actually, as far as I'm aware from my limited research, actually had like a formal education in game design. Except for, I believe, Sakurai. I don't even know if it was for Sakurai either. No. Most of them, if anything, the common denominator was that they hit their head on the brick wall, metaphorically speaking, with a bunch of different failed projects until they reached success, because they started to like fix their mistakes through experience, through actually getting their hands on the. It's not even a process. It's not a formula. It's pretty much an art form. I think that people are kind of forgot that factor. And for some people, like for example, I think Aonuma, was it? He's Aonuma, when he landed a job at Nintendo. I'm quoting this off of Up Close, Aonuma's biography. He showed up at Nintendo. He landed a job there. And he never played a video game before until he asked his girlfriend about video games and was shown a game to, start to familiarize with himself with it. And here he is, being one of the most notable producers for the Legend of Zelda series. Like, he never actually went to, like, Full Sail University or something, which is a bunch of horror stories. Yeah, there's a bunch of horror stories around that, too. I actually said that, like, after we went to that convention stand.
Yeah, you just mentioned to me, like, I signed up for it, and you're like, yo, I heard some pretty bad things about that,
Yeah, like...
about that school, so...
Like, it's not really so much that I heard about it, but... I did hear about, like, horror stories, but, like, again, they're horror stories. You gotta treat them as fringe cases. But there is some credence to the argument that if creating a video game, like a good video game, not just any video game, like a good video game takes a multitude of different experiences and walks of life from all the people involved in making it, why would you narrow your education, if you want to go that path, the game design path, into just game design? Like, that's so narrow, and it's so like it's both so narrow and also so vague at the same time.
Yeah.
if you like, just take a general, like, if you're gonna go the education route for it, at least just go with a general like direction in terms of, like, if you want to go with art, then go art. Just however you want to progress with that. So you leave your options open. Mm-hmm. If you want to go with computer science, then you learn to code, and you kind of, like, again, leave your options open. And then if you want to go into an art form based, or an industry based off of producing something that's an art form, essentially, like video games, you have to present a portfolio. As far as I'm aware from reading, based on people who've actually had experience in the industry, you present your portfolio, and your degree isn't actually going to really help you at all. I don't know. It was just kind of like, and again, this isn't really a new groundbreaking thought as far as I'm aware. But I guess it just kind of like hit me, the significance of it, because at one point I was thinking, because I saw all the ads when I was, signing up for a college. I was looking at all the ads that were being bombarded on my web browser. I was like, Full Sail University, make your dreams come true. No. Thank you, but I'm gonna pass on Full Sail University.
See, that's an interesting thing, because as soon as an industry pops its head up, right, we see the rise of schools dedicated to it, and it's kind of difficult, because I think what you're talking about is important to the overall story of the industry, because the fact of the matter is the industry got started without anyone actually having knowledge of it, including, any other industry that's been developed up until this point. So it's interesting to see that's, like, people who technically have no training have had such a large influence. And I'm not surprised. I gotta say, I'm not surprised, because people try and take advantage of that. And chances are, what I'm guessing at least, and this is just a guess, this is not based off of any particular knowledge, but what I'm guessing is that, especially the industry of game design is still trying to figure out what it wants in its workers. Now, mind you, at the current moment, it's to be dispendable, or to be expendable. Excuse me, dispendable. What the hell am I talking about? To be expendable has been the number one. The number one thing about game designers, especially because there's no unions, there's no regulations. There's nothing right like that. But I'm not surprised people are trying to cash in on it, especially with, like, Full Sail. Is Full Sail a newer college? Do you know?
Relatively speaking, I would venture to say yes, although I can't be quoted on that as of right now.
I'm gonna check it out real quick. I'm going to look up Full Sail on Wikipedia. I don't know. Wikipedia is the easiest, most nearby. 1979. It was a for-profit university. Its curriculum was centered on recording arts and offered courses in audio engineering. Okay, so this has been, not a technical school necessarily, but kind of in film. So enrollment doubled. And at a time of increased interest in film and media studies. Okay, so it seems like they themselves have been, like, involved. What?
So just under the Google search, people also ask, "Is Full Sail a real school?" It's like, okay.
And I think as far as I can see, it seems like they've tried to be the pioneers in, like, new technology. Or, like, new trends and things like that. So I'm not surprised that they've failed.
Wait, huh? I'm sorry. I'm just kind of, like, passively reading stuff, but this kind of, like, drew me out of what you were saying. I'm sorry. It's just, like, just as a side note, Full Sail admissions is not selective with an acceptance rate of 100%.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So we're doing the real.
Is Full Sail legit?
Hold on. Full Sail University tuition. Hold on. Let's check tuition. Okay. So you have to have a 2.5 minimum GPA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is Full Sail a real school?
What does full sale mean?
It does not offer on-campus housing or dorms, which are arguably some of the most expensive parts of having a college.
Yeah. Well, no, but from what I've read, you actually have to there's nothing on campus for like dorming, but there's a bunch of local not suites. What the hell is it called? Like you can basically rent out
apartments.
Yeah, essentially rent out apartments that are local for the purpose of going to the school nearby. And apparently that's even more expensive, obviously so.
Okay, so what I can see right now, it says the annual list price to attend Full Sail University on a full-time basis for 2018 is $39,544 for all students regardless of their residency. The fee is comprised of $19,929 for tuition, $8,400 for room and board, $530 for books and supplies, and $3,765 for other fees. I don't like Full Sail. This almost sounds it. Either they've got really poor, research in general, or management, or they're specifically playing off of these new industries in order to get admissions. Matthew, I don't like this. What did we just stumble upon? Seriously, because that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
That's
another thing. Student loans and student debt
too. They're not public.
Like student debt. That's like you can't do that to people. It's a relatively recent thing, but that shit kills people financially for the majority of their lives.
Seriously, like where we're going right now costs like $10,000 a year or $10,000 a semester or year.
I think it's a year. Yeah.
Yeah, like $10,000 a year. That's a big difference.
That's depending on if you get dorms too. Like I'm not even dorming, and I think I'm paying less per year.
Yeah, like, dude, what? This is big. This is an actual thing. Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm so surprised by this. See, and here's the thing, too. Here's the thing. Now, small history lesson. Now, I don't know. Do you know what Sally Mae is?
No.
So, Sally Mae is a government-subsidized loan system that was developed in 1972 in order to encourage people to go to college. And this is fact. This is not hearsay or theory. This is fact. It was developed in 1972 in order to give people subsidized loans that were easy to pay off so that they could go to college.
Oh, no.
Now, the whole point is you go to college, right? You become either a biotech major or a bio major or an engineering major or something like that. And therefore, the government itself, or the population of the U.S. has more of an edge or an intellectual edge upon the Soviet Union in the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once again, this is fact. This is not theory. This is what they were doing. Now, and you're right. It is a relatively recent thing that government loans have become predatory. You know why? Because they're not fucking government anymore. What happened is in 1997, I believe, Sally Mae became privatized, so that instead of the main purpose of it being to send people to college, the main purpose was to make money. Now, on top of that, seriously, this is something that's important. On top of that, objectively and adjusted to inflation, the price for going to college is 3 times as much as it used to be. Adjusted, once again, like I said, adjusted for inflation and objectively. What the fuck? Dude, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around this. Wasn't one of our friends supposed to go to Full Sail too?
Oh wait, was it Raphael?
Yeah!
He
wanted to go to Full Sail too. Dude, what?
Oh, wait,
okay,
I have the explanation. This goes back to last episode or last 2 episodes. You know where they have Full Sail University?
What?
Florida. We have the answer, everyone. We have the answer.
Florida does a Florida review. Florida.
No,
we have the answer.
No, but it says right there, like Full Sail University, right on the Google search. Full Sail University is a private for-profit university. Like it's. What can I say? It's just
that's nuts, man. That's crazy. And the graduation rate is 44%.
Yep.
Oh my god! Wow, that's Matthew. Thank you for bringing that up. That's pretty fucking important. I gotta be honest. Like, wow, that's I can't even like. I am actually speechless. I'm trying to. Oh my god! That okay. All right. Anyway. Okay. So, don't go to Full Sail. They're scamming you, Matthew.
Okay. To be fair, I think that's a bit much. I don't think they're full on
I'm
scamming.
joking. I'm making a stupid joke. But it's obviously predatory because they're for profit. So, it's simple as that. Anyway, okay. So, I don't even know how to segue. I don't even know what we're going to next because I'm so thrown through a loop.
Basic moral of the story: if Sakurai didn't do it, you shouldn't either. Thank you, Daddy Sakurai.
Thank you, Daddy Sakurai. Okay, was there anything else you wanted to bring up specifically?
I honestly, a lot of the things that you were talking about kind of overlapped with what I was saying, so you've run me dry.
Okay. Ooh,
oh no!
I'll run you dry. All right. What? Excuse me. Shut up.
This PC has turned into a pod racing machine.
Are you talking about your girlfriend's PC?
Yeah. No. It's just she has, I think, a bit of coil whine or something in one of the components of the PC. So
I can't even hear it, to be honest.
You want to hear it? Should I put it on the podcast for everyone to hear? Let me see if I can capture it. Give me a second. Can you hear the humming? It was worse like an hour ago. It was just like constant.
That sounds like a legit pod racer. Now that is pod racing. Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, we need to stick our head in the case after this and just check out what's going on because it's been like this for a month. Yeah, it's been like this for a month.
That's crazy. That's nuts. Wow. All right. Well, I mean, if you don't have anything else to talk about, I would like to talk about another quick thing. We've been talking about a lot of corporate crap.
Yeah. That's no fun.
Unfortunately, there's a little bit more. I promise, but then it's like the last of the big stuff that's happened recently.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it envelops a lot of the news just because we're a young industry. So we're still figuring out the boundaries, where we're going to eventually crash because that's going to happen.
The moral boundaries.
Yeah, the moral boundaries. So I apologize to any listeners who kind of get knocked down by this. Honestly, what I can say is support indie developers that you enjoy. That's a big thing because indie developers present competition. Competition presents reform and, checks and balances within a capitalist system. So. Hey, first off, I'd like to put my condolences forward for Dragon Age 4, because they are focusing on making it a live service.
Oh,
fucking do.
F in the chat.
Big F in the chat for one of my favorite series of all time, and I think you would also agree with me on that. So that makes me sad. That's just something to be aware of. Actually, you know what? I'll end off with a good thing after this one. Epic Games has now bought Psyonix. And for those of you who don't know what Psyonix is, Psyonix are the developers of Rocket League. Now, I will say this: Rocket League was essentially what I like to call it is the indie game that could. Because as far as I'm aware, it started off as an indie game and became super, super popular because it has a wonderful formula, extremely addictive gameplay, even for me, a person who hates sports. Well, I don't hate sports.
Would you actually Did you put down some game time on it?
Oh yeah, I've played it quite a bit.
Because I never played it.
Yeah, between me and it's weirdly fun. It's like weirdly like really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to pick up, hard to master. It's one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
And so Epic just bought them out, and there's a very large chance, although there's been some flip-flopping, but there's a very large chance that it's going to come off of Steam and be an Epic Store exclusive. Yeah.
Wait, come off of Steam?
Yes. Now here's the thing. Support for people who have it on Steam would still progress normally. However, what I would like to say is that it's still the principle of the matter. You know, the only competition that Steam has is literally them doing ridiculously aggressive corporate takeovers. Like I don't think that's necessarily the best of what we should be hoping for in terms of competition right now. If that makes sense. Unfortunately, it's kind of the only competition we have, which is frustrating. But it's bad, and it sets a very bad precedent, because they may get a lot of money from, like, I believe they have loot boxes or something in the game, or something. I don't know, which is arguably bad, although the game itself is only $15, I believe.
I think it came out around the time Overwatch did, if I remember correctly, roughly. So that's not surprising.
Yeah, and it's also relatively cheap. It's not a $60 game.
Yeah.
Which lends a little bit of credence, but I still don't necessarily accept the microtransactions, because even if you pay for it, no matter how much you pay for it, I don't think there should be transactions in it. But it leads to a very bad precedent, because what's going to happen is I think we're going to see this platform war between Epic and between Steam, and Epic themselves are a game developer and a game producer. Which I think it's going to lead to something so much worse than what we see it as now. Because we may say now, we may go, oh, they're still kind of supporting it on Steam. Yes, but they could easily do this to new projects. They kind of did it to Borderlands 3 already, with the 6-month exclusivity on the Epic Game Store. Like, that's a big game. If Epic has that much money to waste on that, that's nuts.
Screw that. Everyone go to GOG. Whatever the hell.
GOG.
However the hell you pronounce it.
G2A, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. Never mind. Just kidding.
You know what? Fuck that. Enough video games. Let's all go to Dungeons and Dragons.
Fuck that.
Actually, there's another problem.
With a hula hoop and a stick.
There's another problem. Wizards of the Coast have their own fair share of shit, so ouch.
That's also correct, because of how expensive the books are.
It's not even that, actually. Do you know how much drama there is? Like, small-time drama, but consistent drama, nevertheless. Like, I want to say every other month. No. Like, for Magic the Gathering.
No, I'm so curious.
I'm pretty sure. This was based off of a YouTube video that I watched. Just this morning, actually. So the new expansion came out. I think it was War of the Spark or something like that. Yeah, War of the Spark, I believe. Battle of the Spark, War of the Spark, something like that. Either way, new expansion. People got super hyped about it, obviously, and there was this big booster box / fat pack or whatever. I'm not familiar with the terms. I know what they are.
Fat pack.
Yeah, no, it's literally called a fat pack, because it's a fat pack of cards for the expansion, and that's like the best way to boost yourself straight into the competitive aspect of the game, I suppose, to get as many cards as you can on your hands on as many cards as you can for like a reduced price, relatively speaking, because you're buying in bulk. I'm pretty sure there were 1,200 units in stock on eBay, because it was an exclusive like eBay thing for release, strangely enough, and it was 1,200 units. I believe. I don't have the exact figures on me, but it was somewhere around 1,200. I believe all of the units were bought out within 6 minutes. They made, just off of like raw sales, without counting anything else, they made almost $3 million in 6 minutes. And not only that, there was increased drama over the fact, or there was like big drama over the fact that they sold out so fast with such a limited stock, relative to the amount of hype and demand that was going around that product, that essentially once they sold out so quickly, there were still orders being filed into eBay and into eBay's system, and some of the purchases end up being canceled. Even though they originally got some certain buyers that were just too late got confirmation beforehand that they successfully purchased it. And there was this whole big mess where like, oh, we're going to be refunding everyone. We're sorry. But like, this isn't the first time they fucked up over a new expansion or a new like hyped up product, or even like relatively hyped up product. So yeah, Wizards of the Coast. Long story short, Wizards of the Coast is not clean either. The only saving grace with the Dungeons and Dragons is that technically you don't necessarily need to buy the books in order to know how to play the game. You can learn from someone else who already knows. You can just take that knowledge and sort of make your own game. Like, you can change the systems. It's a very, very, very flexible game. That's pretty much like the biggest thing going for it in why it's like it will still maintain some sense of purity.
Purity.
Yeah,
that's a word.
Like, honestly, how else are you supposed to describe it at this point?
Okay, that's nuts. That's great. It's
not the first time either. Like it's oh my God, we're trapped. We're screwed.
Yeah. Anyway. Point is, vote with your dollar. That's what I would say. Vote with your dollar.
Or
take
just
it on yourself to
enforce
positive things. Or it would be more impactful if no one voted forehead. Mind you, that's true, but it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, no, not realistically.
Anyway, I'm sorry that we shouldn't get into political things. I mean,
keep politics out of my games.
Keep politics.
Ironically, this is going to start a political discussion.
I know you are trudging into some dangerous territory.
Okay, so
no, not with me, because I mostly agree with you anyway. So like,
no, I know.
For me, it's fine because I also agree. I think it's.
Would you say you punk ass? No, we cool.
So lastly, at least if as long as you're good on what you would like to say.
Yeah.
Yes, no, but okay. Lastly, two things. You sent me a video a little while ago, I think the other day, of Donkey's review of the Sonic trailer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But I was specifically referring to Tommy Wiseau playing Dark Souls.
Yes. And so, obviously, we don't really have to go over the Sonic thing. It looks ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. They're going to change it, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, cool. Woo! We did it, internet. Normal things. However, what I did also discover is that, do you know who T-Pain is?
Yes.
T-Pain. So I don't like Polygon that much. However, I love this stupid shit that they do. Because they're kind of half BuzzFeed, half a news source in, like, how they report things. So, like, for example, they have an article currently that says T-Pain hates Dark Souls, but we made T-Pain play Dark Souls anyway. And it's actually, like, super enjoyable to watch. Like, I think it's, like it's so enjoyable to see a non-gamer, or at least, technically I don't know if he's a gamer or not, but, to see someone who's not necessarily as savvy to it,
or at the very least not known for it.
Yeah, just go through it and kind of, like, experience it for the first time. It is so damn funny. Wait,
his Twitter account says that 18 hours ago he posted his Twitch account, his Twitch channel, and said it just says Sims 4. He was streaming Sims 4.
Oh my god!
He's a gamer!
He's a gamer!
Gamers rise up!
But anyway, I thought I'd mention that because it's on a lighter note. Dark Souls 3 is one of what I would like to call the more pure forms of gaming. Lesser known for, or well known for not really having bullshit in it, which is positive. And also very well known for having wonderful storytelling, wonderful gameplay, and also unlimited replayability to the point where in the last month and a half I put 150 hours into it. And Matt was there for most of that. So,
Shit.
Look it up. It's super funny. He's a funny dude. It's so wholesome too. It's such a wholesome thing to watch. It's like, oh, look at this guy. He's enjoying something new for the first time, and it kind of just it warms my heart because it's what games are about. It's presenting this new idea, this new format, and this new. Matt, I swear to God, you're watching it, aren't you?
No, I'm not. No, I found something different. I'm gonna have to one up you on this right here.
Okay, well, anyway, it's what gaming is about. Taking these treasures that people make and kind of, showing people them and having them open their eyes to kind of a new way of thought through gaming. It's great. It's awesome. And what are you gonna one up me with?
Is a don't Google T-Pain and look at the top story section, please. For anyone, because this is relevant to this is kind of Game of Thrones spoilers, so I'm going to tread very carefully and not spoil anything.
Oh yeah, I saw that tweet. Yeah.
No, it's just BuzzFeed article 4 days ago on Google. No. T-Pain thinks that a certain actor or a certain character rather from Game of Thrones deserves some premium D for a spoiler related reason. I don't know if he's saying if he's referring to his premium D,
or if that's like a BuzzFeed thing.
Oh no, this was actually on Twitter. Okay.
Well, he has a tweet, that is relatively spoiler free, at least as far as he live tweets, and it says. I don't know if this is spoilery.
No, it's very spoilers. I just looked at it. It's very spoilers. Don't.
The one that says Big Mad.
What the? Wait, this BuzzFeed article says written with 0 episode 3 spoilers, but all the spoilers are in the tweets.
What? Wait, I'm talking about the one that says Big Mad.
Big Mad?
Yeah. Look at that one and tell me if it's spoilery, because I don't think it is.
Where? Big Mad.
Here, I'll link it to you.
Yeah, do that, because I can't find it.
I think it's super funny, and I'd like to say it.
Yeah, no, don't look up the one I referred to, though. If you haven't seen...
I won't.
If you haven't seen Season 8, Episode 3, do not look up this article.
Yeah.
Okay. T-Pain hates Dark Souls, but we made T-Pain play Dark Souls anyway.
It's it's halfway down. There's a tweet from it.
Oh, Jorah Big Man. Okay, yeah, no, that's not spoilers. It's just a general statement about a character. It's not actually.
I thought that was super funny because he's talking about Jorah. If anyone watches Game of Thrones, and he's like, Jorah Big Mad. I can't deal with this thirsty flip flopping ass. So anyway, that's a lighter note. And that's so what were you one upping me with the Game of Thrones thing? The BuzzFeed thing?
No, literally just that he. Apparently, after reading into it, he was saying that a certain character, without spoiling anything, a certain character deserves some premium dick. And at first, just off of the title, I was like, "Wait, is he talking about his own?" I was
his own dick.
No, but after reading into it, it doesn't seem like, I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
T-Pain's actually a bro. Excuse me. Actually, what the fuck am I talking about? Actually, no. T-Pain is such a funny guy because he started off as this big badass rapper, and then just kind of blended into culture, and then came out the other side he's just a bro. I don't know. I don't know. He has had such a weird career, but I love him. I think he's great. Although,
fuck, I think
for the record. Uh-huh.
Shit! I just got spoiled for Endgame. Thanks, Polygon.
But I mean, in case there's any scandals, I currently don't know about them, so don't hold me to that. So, anyway, that's kind of the way I want to leave off. It's funny. T-Pain's a goofball. I'm a goofball, and I'm actually super happy to be back. I'm super excited. I thought this episode was super fun to record. Thank you guys for listening, and once again, and if you're here after switching from SoundCloud to YouTube, thank you, because we don't have enough money to pay for SoundCloud every month. So,
Pepper hands.
Yeah, I promise I will at some point, but we did have to make the switch, and we appreciate you guys working with us to kind of accommodate that, and it means the world. It's great. Once again, follow us at Suboptimal Podcast on Instagram, suboptimalpodcast@gmail.com for any questions, comments, concerns, or any topics you'd like us to talk about. I sometimes stream very, very rarely at twitch.tv/miniscofie. Matt also sometimes streams. Is it twitch.tv/nailed it?
Let me check, because I haven't streamed for a while because of school. But oh no, it's Twitch TV/Iagoid. But the I's are supposed to be L's, but some asswipe has Alagold as a username on Twitch.
Okay, so it's A
AIIAHGOID.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That's confusing.
It's basically Alagold, all one word, except replace the L's with I's. That's it.
Gotcha. Got it, Chief. That's it, Chief. Alright, well, I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else to really discuss, to say, to do. Thank you for tuning in again. We appreciate it. We're happy to be back, and we promise we will try and keep up Matthew, stop it. If we can keep up regularly, we will try our hardest, especially now that we're going to be mostly out of school, and the summer will be right around the corner. So thanks for listening, and we hope you have a wonderful, fantastic day. We have been mediocre. All right, bye.
Goodbye.